Join me for Ask the Good Doctor, live today and every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 noon Central Standard Time, and 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bring your questions.
Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, and welcome to Ask the Good Doctor. We are here to help you attain, maintain, and reclaim your perfect health. Grab your Good Doctor notebook. We've got a great program for you today. We're going to have a little conversation with a functional medicine doctor, also a chiropractor. She's a wellness doctor. Her name is Dr. Tracey Diner, and she's going to talk to us about some dangers that we have been experiencing. We've been actually talking about them here for quite a while. But on January 20th, we experienced something in America. I just want you to take a look, if you will, at this news clip. It scared the bejesus out of me because I was prepared to fly on this day from Chicago, and I awoke to the following news that gave me the creepy crawlies I can't tell you. So join me on Ask the Good Doc on Twitter and on Instagram and Facebook at Ask the Good Doctor. I'd love for you to jump into this conversation. Chris, show them the news clip.
Judy, with the full 5G rollout set for tomorrow, this afternoon wireless companies are throttling back their plans near O'Hare, Midway, and other U.S. airports. The last-minute change coming after ominous warnings that new phone technology could interfere with sensitive cockpit equipment and put the airline industry into a tailspin.
There is no other priority higher than safety and security both of our airports, and we're going to continue working with our federal partners as well as our airline partners to do everything that we can to minimize impact.
Even as Chicago's aviation department braced for the impact of 5G interference on operations here at O'Hare and Midway, the White House announcing that Verizon and AT&T were agreeing to limit the new activation of 5G towers near airports nationwide. The move gives regulators more time to analyze potential interference from the 5G network rollout on aircraft electronics, most notably on radio altimeters that measure a plane's altitude while landing in bad weather.
I think they have legitimate concerns. And so, I don't think the concern is that they don't want to adopt it, but they want more time to evaluate whether this really will, how badly it will affect the aviation industry.
While 5G disruptions could divert planes and delay passengers, some experts, including those from the Airline Pilots Union, say there are more dangerous concerns.
This is unsafe. The manufacturers have said so. Our airlines are saying so. The FAA is saying so. And so are pilot unions.
This 5G ramp-up has been in the works for years. And this 11th hour crisis is raising questions about who dropped the ball.
There'll be lots of time to look back and see how we got here. What we're focused on is trying to come to a solution that will minimize disruptions to passenger travel, cargo operations, and our economic recovery. And that is why it's so important to hopefully come to an agreement and ensure more planes are flying.
The leaders of United Airlines and Boeing, both headquartered here in Chicago, signed on to an aviation industry letter that used words such as devastating and catastrophic in describing the 5G rollout. That letter, no doubt, pushed federal officials and wireless providers into unusually fast action. This afternoon, though, some foreign airlines are still canceling flights to the U.S., including schedules to O'Hare from the United Arab Emirates, Japan, and India.
Wow, is all I have to say as I put down my 5G phone. I want to bring on Dr. Tracey Diner, who is a wellness doctor, chiropractor, and functional medicine doctor. Welcome, Dr. Tracey.
Yeah, good to be here. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Fighting a good fight.
Yes. Dr. Tracey is also the creator of Magnetude Jewelry, which is a jewelry line that I think is just beautiful jewelry. I'm wearing some today. I'm wearing some always. You can look at all my clips and see me wearing it. But Dr. Tracey, you heard the news clip from the Chicago on January 20th regarding this 5G rollout. What say you about this interference with airlines?
Well, you know, I've done some research on that as well, because that's my thing, is to do research on electromagnetic fields and 5G, and that's all about our company, is to handle what 5G is doing. 5G is not good for the planet. It's not good for the people. And then now it's actually not great for airplanes and our safety. So that's just one more thing. You know, what I saw is that, you know, we've rolled out 5G stronger than anywhere else in the world. There are certain countries in the world that don't even allow 5G because it's 20 times stronger than 4G. And on the research, why this can be affected is there's it's called C-band. There's a band of electromagnetic fields of communication that 5G is using, that is sharing some of what the aviation systems use for their band of communication, and particularly for planes that dealt with their altimeter, their height of the plane, which is used specifically when they need it the most, when weather's bad or they're getting close to the ground and they need to see. Yes. They need to know exactly where that plane is to distance. So that's the concern that's going on. And in doing some more research, there's, of course, you have two sides. One side said, hey, there's no problem. Another side said, yes, there is. So I listened to the side that says, hey, we have no problem. And because they cited France has been using 5G for a while and they have had no effects. So if you delve into that a little bit more, France has been using 5G, but our 5G in the United States is 2.5 times stronger than France's 5G, because they've limited that. And the other thing that France is doing, so that you don't have the plane interference, is there is an area there of 96 seconds that they actually don't allow as the plane is flying into the airport or leaving. There's about a 96-second time frame where there's no interference of 5G. So it gives the plane enough time to not have any interference communicated with if there is that issue. In the United States, they've done 20 seconds. So now we have it 2.5 times stronger in the United States, and they've only allowed the last 20 seconds of a plane to not be interfered with. So not a lot of time if you're all of a sudden thinking you're at a certain distance and you're not.
Holy smoke!
Yeah. So that's what's going on right now. And the other thing is that the FAA has had a couple years to try and figure this out, and they actually haven't done it yet. So they get down to the wire, and then they're like, wait. So,
all right, this looks like they've had a couple of years to figure this out, yet they haven't figured it out. But they still decided to flip the switch on the day they wanted to flip the switch.
Yeah. Big business. Big business.
No.
It always gets back to that.
And listen, and not at our expense, because I said I was literally going to fly on January 20th when these news reports came through. And what's really daunting to me is the newscaster used words like ominous. He said ominous. I mean, felt like a warning. I really even second guessed whether or not I was going to get on that plane.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a small issue, my personal opinion, but I think it's going to continue because as 5G continues to roll out, and we continue as a society to keep having things that need 5G, like driverless cars. I have an issue with that. I don't think we need
Yes.
driverless cars.
Nope.
I think we're going to have a whole world of other problems because of
Yes,
it.
we are.
And the 5G has to be close to you to do that. And that means that we're basically covering the world with 5G. And that gets back to, as a wellness doctor, as you know, affecting us ourselves.
Expecting ourselves. I want to take a look at this because it did not just affect Chicago. Chris has another clip that we're going to show, and this one is from Los Angeles. Here's the report of what they had to say in LA.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bumpy start to this process, just to say the least. Yeah, so even though it is limited around runways at major U.S. airports right now, it is still being launched in other places across the country. And just because that's happening, that is creating a lot of issues for international airlines, flights that are coming into the United States. A lot of issues, even though this is limited. So both AT&T and Verizon, they both announced ahead of today's planned launch date that they were going to temporarily limit this service, which is called C-band 5G, around some airports. Now, that announcement came after executives from Delta, United, American, and other airlines, they all warned just how disruptive this launch could be, potentially grounding entire fleets and stranding thousands of passengers and cargo. Now, even though AT&T and Verizon did limit that service rollout, some international airlines still canceling or switching planes for flights that are coming to the United States today. Now, 5G exists right now in more than 40 other countries, and AT&T and Verizon reps say the FAA should really be able to manage the signals at U.S. airports like they do elsewhere. But some experts say it's not the service itself that's the problem. Listen here.
In some European countries, 5G has been deployed, but some of the engineers tell me that it's at a lower power level. So we're concerned about the power level of 5G towers in the United States.
So some debate there. Now, the airline's concern is that 5G service could potentially interfere with the signals that help pilots land safety in low visibility. Now, even though the launch being limited around some U.S. airports, some of those international airlines like Emirates, Air India, and Japan Airlines, they've all announced service cuts because of the launch. So still a lot of airlines being affected here. Now, this is an ongoing debate that's been going on for a while here. Airlines have been urging the White House to go ahead and block 5G service within a 2-mile radius of major U.S. airport runways. This is a debate that is likely going to take some time. Michaela?
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. Now, Dr. Tracey, do you think that a 2-mile radius is enough?
You know, for a plane, I think that C-band, I think, has to deal with the height of the plane. Mm-hmm. So you don't need to know exactly the height. And if you're up high, if you're at 30,000 feet, you're not getting any of this 5G stuff anyway, unless it's coming from satellites, which we have, but not 5G. But so I think that that's probably, I'm not an aviation specialist. I just have common sense, right? So that you want to make sure that the plane isn't being interfered with when it needs to know exactly where it is in space compared to the ground. And that's where it comes in. I think that the larger cities are having issues because, like you said, Chicago and LA, I mean, 2 miles from an airport, you have houses and, you know, businesses right up to the airport.
That's right.
For them to say you can't have 5G in this 2-mile radius, you're going to have some pushback and it's going to be more difficult. I think that's the biggest issue with the large cities.
So here's the issue. Do we really want to contend with this kind of danger? Or are we going to satisfy ourselves and satiate a screaming public and give them the faster, brighter, stronger, which is America's problem in the first place? Just saying.
I'm there with you. The problem is those screaming people and I want this and they're winning. They are. Look at our world.
This is quite unfortunate because the reporter used the word, she said that the 5G carriers have decided to temporarily suspend service within a 2-mile radius. Temporarily, you have all of these experts saying this is potentially dangerous.
Well, I think they have to do more studies. But the thing is, how are those studies being done and who's doing them? And is that getting out. I mean, we know as a wellness, I can relate this to the pharmaceutical industry. When you have pharmaceutical industries doing their own research and saying things are good or not, the FAA is the communications companies are huge. I mean, they're huge. So right now, 5G, you can put a tower. Verizon has a right to put a tower anywhere it wants. If it's in your backyard, they can do it. Now, how did that happen?
Ooh, they pay you to do that, though. Just saying. They pay you to do that, to put a tower on your property. Yes, I know. Yes.
Yeah, to make yourself sick. Yeah.
Well, we're going to get to that in just a moment. When we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Dr. Tracey is going to tell us that if an airplane may be in danger of this new technology, are we? Don't go away. We'll be back right after this. And if you would like to have the fruits of the Spirit be ignited in you, join us for the Wellness Warriors Weekend Getaway in Vermont at the Essex Culinary Resort and Spa. And we are going to have a grand old time from June 23rd to June 26th. Send me an email at drbrookshire@outlook.com. Registration is happening right now, and attendance is this big. We're intentionally doing it small, got some really special things. as we were talking to Dr. Tracey about the occurrence of the rollout of the new technology that is happening in our country and the 5G causing problems as reported by all of the news outlets on that day. Wow, Dr. Tracey, if the airplanes don't have a chance, do we?
That's a great question. And that's something I've been trying to scream from the rooftops for a while now. And which is why I created this jewelry company for that reason, to actually help counteract these electromagnetic fields. You know, as you know, I've been doing science and research on electromagnetic fields for years. And
Yes.
I knew before 5G was coming, it was going to be so much stronger than 4G. And there's so much research right now on how 4G affects us. And then 5G being 20 times stronger. And now that we're blanketed and we live on the planet. I mean, we, as our jewelry company, we make things for animals. Why, you know, we make dog tags. Well, dogs don't talk on the phone, right? Electromagnetic fields are just not from the phones, right? So now we know, now they're stronger, but we have satellites. We have 20,000 satellites pointing at Earth with microwave radiation. We have these light, you know, these electromagnetic fields that are emitted from all sorts of sources that are man-made now. And
I need you to back up for a minute.
Yeah. I can get going.
You just said a mouthful.
That's probably true.
How many satellites are pointed at us?
Well, at the last, in this, there's probably more, 20,000.
Why?
Because we need to communicate, right? So we have.
But not like that.
That's how you communicate. This is the love-hate relationship we have as we become a more technological society. So we love our fast video, right? I want to pop on Netflix and I don't want it to buffer, right? But what does that require? That requires fast internet. And when you have fast internet, the fastest internet is 5G, which then has to be closer to your body. Now, we are electric. Let me back up for a second. So you know why this is so important for us. Besides the planes, what about us?
Yes.
We are electric, right?
We are.
Our nervous system, our brain, everything is actually measured with electrical currents. We are electric as beings. We have frequencies that we resonate at, and those frequencies outside our body affect us.
Yes.
And so does this electrical magnetic fields, because we are electric. So where it's affecting us is at the things that are most susceptible in our bodies to electrical fields, which are our mitochondria. For those of you who don't remember your science class, what is mitochondria? Right? Mitochondria is what gives you your energy for your cells to function, yes, for your body to work, right? You can have all the nutrients you want in your body, which nobody does get. But if you don't have the energy to then absorb it properly and to disperse it where it needs it, you're having an issue, okay? That's the same thing. If you don't have these mitochondria working properly and they're at a decreased function, then your body's going to decrease in function. Right. So that's the number one area that's being affected, the mitochondria. It's huge. Cell membranes are extremely sensitive to electrical magnetic fields. Cell membranes are the gatekeepers for your cells to keep the good stuff coming in and the bad stuff getting out. Same thing with the calcium channels. And the research shows that these are the things that are most affected by electrical magnetic fields. It's a new science. A lot of research hasn't been done lately and hasn't been done on 5G. All of these horrible things that I ever do a lecture called 5G, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'll give myself a plug here. 5G, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You can find it on YouTube. That talks about the bit. I get really into the science of what's going on. And all of that was done on 4G. Not 5G.
Interesting. Magnetude Jewelry, this jewelry that we're wearing, I wear it all of the time. And people comment on my jewelry and I say, you all should know me by now. This is not just cute. This is protection.
Right.
I am protecting myself. And thanks to Dr. Tracey, she has an entire line of this wonderful protection. Dr. Tracey, let's talk about what's on the back. I have another piece here that I will show. I love, love, love my cross. But on the back, tell us about what we have here.
Yeah. So now a couple of things I will say. I try not to use the word protection because I think it's misleading.
Okay.
Because you're not in a Faraday cage, and that is the only way that you can completely protect yourself is if you are in like this bubble, because electromagnetic fields are coming at you everywhere. But why we say we counteract, we changed our verbiage, is because these EMFs, they're like like you're driving down the road with a car full of gasoline, right? And the EMFs are pulling out the gasoline. There's nothing wrong with the car, but the gasoline is being sucked away. And so that's actually what's happening. So what I'll show you is the most important part of our jewelry is the magnet. The magnet of these tubes. Okay, this magnet, this is a 4,000 Gauss neodymium magnet. That is the kind of the secret sauce of our jewelry. That is the most important part of the jewelry is the magnet. That magnet attaches into any of our pieces. So they're all interchangeable. So as you can see, Dr. Joyce, you can take these things in and out, right? We can both do it here.
And then you have such choices.
She has a few. Yeah, because we want you wearing these magnets. These magnets work with your personal electrical energy and increase your energy that's being taken away, because electricity and magnetism are tied together. So if you put a strong magnet in an electrical field, we're the electrical field, you put a strong magnet in our field, it increases your electrical energy to kind of put that gasoline back into the car.
That's right. So it increases our electrical energy. So now I'm always gemmed up. I definitely wear I definitely wear that on my ears to protect my headspace, of course.
I do too. I'm never on the computer without protecting my brain. Yep.
Never protecting my brain. Yep. I am protecting my throat chakra.
Yep.
And I am protecting my wrist as I hold these things. Bottom line, every person holding a phone in their hand needs a bracelet on. Well, quite honestly. And so the bracelets, just wonderful choices. And my personal favorite.
Yeah, I actually have that exact one.
You do?
That was one of a kind. We don't have those anymore.
I got this at the party.
Yeah.
And the necklaces, just different choices. I'm just thrilled to death to have protection. So if I'd like to wear any other jewelry, I wear it around this jewelry, but I am never without it. End of story. And I was so devastated to learn that the new phone that I had to get is because my old phone is obsolete, kept it for 3 years. And I had to get a phone that had 5G. So I have a Faraday bag, Tech Wellness, by the way, August, hello, dear August, the August bag. And in the front pouch, the phone will ring, but the inside is completely caged and keeps you off the grid. And it really does keep you off the grid. But on the plane, Dr. Tracey, I wear probably 3 bracelets, 2 necklaces, because I don't want to take any chances.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you for having created something that we can protect ourselves. And it's beautiful jewelry.
Yeah, we wanted everybody to wear it. So my partner's an artist, and so we collaborated for 3 years to create this company before we started, because I didn't want it. I wanted people to wear it. I wanted it to be pretty. So there you go. Yeah, bracelets, necklaces, earrings. And then real quick on the back, you were showing me, but I wanted to talk about the magnets for a second. But on the back side, we have energy frequencies of infrared, negative ion, and germanium. Infrared increases blood flow. Negative ions increase serotonin. And the black is the germanium, increasing our anti-inflammatory properties. So those work in conjunction with the magnets as well. So you're getting, we're packing as much healthy frequencies and energy into this jewelry for you to wear as we can.
Well, we thank you for doing so. If you'd like to grab hold of some of this jewelry, do so at magnetudejewelry.com/Dr. LaJoyce. That's magnetudejewelry.com/Dr. LaJoyce. It'll be right below. Dr. Tracey, you are a gem. And thank you for creating such beautiful gems. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for educating and enlightening us, and write your Congress people about this issue that we are faced with, because it's only going to be those of us who scream the loudest, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Tracey, for being here. I'm out of time. I'd like to thank my team, Christopher Green, technical producer, IW supervising producer, and our announcer today, DJ NG. To let your eyes shine, cut back on the wine, get good food fast, and go easy on the greasy. Until next time, I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, here to help you attain and maintain your perfect health. Let's do it again next week, okay? God bless you.